Hey yo, what's going on everybody? It's Tylarious, aka Ty Killington. Yeah, man. Alright, today's video we're talking about the brand new drift racing in the game. That's right, there are drift kits that you can install on select vehicles. We have a new racing category, the drift races, and we have 7 new drift racing tracks to choose between. All right, now in this video, I'm going to explain how to actually drift race, right? How to accumulate points, what not to do, because you can lose points, you can lose your multiplier, all that, all right? But first things first, you're like, Ty, what cars can I use? I got you. Go to the LS car meet. Go over here to House Computer, and you can hit the left arrow key, and it will give you a vehicle list. These are the vehicles that you can install a drift kit on. There are 8 different vehicles, and you're probably going to ask me, like, Ty, what is the meta? What's the best car to use, right? Well, it's interesting because when you install a drift kit on these vehicles, first of all, it's done through HSW, right? It's $190,000 to install the drift tuning kits. And what it does is it removes all of the performance of the vehicle. So your turbo, your engine mods, all of those performance upgrades get removed. And I've heard a lot of people saying this. They say that they have their slicks on with the drift kit. No, you do not have the ability to stack low grip tires with the actual drift tune. Okay, and I'm showing you that right here. You can tell because the traction modifier on the bottom of your screen right on the left side is going to be different. You can tell the difference on that. Plus, when you add the drift tuning, it turns the vehicle into all-wheel drive. If you just have low grip tires on, that's not the case, and that's part of the drifting mechanics with how GTA does it. It's not really how you'd want to have it for IRL drifting, but it is what we have for GTA. So it's not necessarily drifting as we know it. Now, let me explain to you how you actually score points. The drift races aren't really about winning the race. Now, you can get a bonus for that, and you can also turn that off, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. But the way to score points there's a couple of ways. First of all, you need to be moving forward. As you see right here, just doing a donut or spinning the tires, that's not going to work. You have to be moving forward with your tires moving or spinning, and you need to be in a drift. So as long as you're not going in a straight line and you are holding your drift, you're going to be accumulating points. And maintaining a drift or just accumulating drift points consecutively will increase your multiplier. The multiplier does exactly that. It takes whatever drift score you have and it multiplies it by that multiplier. And if you end up stopping or you slow down, it will just multiply that. Say it's a 5 times and you have 1,000 points. Well, now you've accumulated 5,000 points. Now we're in a green zone right here. The green zone is a high risk, high reward. It's designed to boost your point score and your multiplier. It kind of, ramps it up a little bit faster and it helps you reach that multiplier quicker. However, if you already have like a 4 times multiplier, I'd probably skip it because you could lose it in there. And if you get into trouble, you can do a little donut right there as you just saw, and that'll keep you going as well. But as you have been watching, it's very easy to not only lose your multiplier, you can also lose all of your points. So if you bump the wall, it will take away your multiplier. If you crash too hard, it could take away the whole entire amount of points that you've accumulated for that particular drift, all right? So now that you know how to score points and how you can lose points, let's talk about getting this set up. You can find the drift races in the pause menu. Just go to Jobs, Rockstar Created, go to Races, alphabetical order, go down to the D's for drift race, and there's 7 different races you can choose between. 1 to 8 players, and as a host, it's kind of important to get the settings because we have new racing settings now. There's new things that we can do with the Chop Shop update. I'd recommend when you start out, put the weather to bright. Put it to noon so you can see. But as you see here, the last 3 options are important. You have the starting grid order, so you can put players up front that have a lower win percentage or they just don't race that much to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage. You can also turn the boost on go off, which a lot of times people miss the boost and it causes people to crash. But with these drifts, I highly recommend you set these races to non-contact, especially as you're starting out just trying to learn this, because if you're crashing with everybody, it's going to be a pain to get any kind of points going. And at the very bottom, you can turn the finishing multiplier off. When you have the finishing multiplier off, the only points that you accumulate are the points for your drifts. If you have it on, on, you get not only the points for your drift, but you also get a bonus for finishing like first or second or third, and that could tip the balance. So it can be good, it can be bad. I kind of like just to get the drift points by themselves, no actual placement bonus. But either way is fine. It just adds a different type of element to it. It rewards people for actually winning the race or finishing it. And so, but it could also hurt you if you're just really trying to focus on your drifts and not worrying about being first, right? So just keep that in mind. It's just kind of preference with that right there. So again, the best way to accumulate your points is make sure your car is not going in a straight line. You want to string all of your drifts together and hold them for as long as you can so you can maximize your multiplier. But to be fair, if you're up at a 4 or 5 multiplier and you may end up crashing, I would just slam on the brakes and accumulate those points so what just happened right there doesn't happen to you. I lost my multiplier, and instead of getting almost 40,000 points, I only got around 8,000. So that's a big deal. So you want to try and keep your multiplier, but if you feel like you might crash or wreck, just keep the points that you have and then restart your multiplier. And then for your finishing position bonus, you can have it set to default or very high. It just gives you more points for finishing first, second, and third. Again, you can turn that off though. Now, as you see right here, around the track, you're gonna have these little like those poles, those posts right there. And if you drift really close to those, it will give you 1,000-point precision drift bonus. But again, high risk, high reward. You can also lose your points by, smacking into them or lose your multiplier. So be very careful with that. As you see right here, I had it going. I kind of messed up, barely touched that barrier. I lost 74,000 points. I don't think that's the way that Rockstar should do this. I think it should just, give you the points but cancel out your drift and make you start over again. You see right here, it kind of snowball, right? It's a snowball effect, and you start, kind of getting messed up there. But these are fun. They're not my favorite way to race. Obviously, it's not really a race itself, but it is a lot of fun. It's addicting because you want to get better at it. There's different levels of drifts. You've got good, you've got super, you've got mega, you got ultra drifts. It just depends on how many points you get. And technically, you could hold and maintain one single drift all the way through the race, whether it's like 2 laps, 3 laps, whatever, point to point. You could hold that one single drift and have a huge score at the end. And you'll notice once you finish the actual drift, just like people scoring the fastest lap, you get that little star next to your name or whatever. You can also get the best or the longest drift. So whoever has the longest drift in that race will get a star. However, if you hold the drift the whole way through and you finish, I noticed this happened to me. It'll show you as having the longest drift, but you don't get that little star next to your name. I'm not sure why it's like that. So keep that in mind as well. That may be something in the future that goes towards a career progress, just like it does for the racing right now. So there you guys have it. This is your drift guide. I want you guys to check this out. It is fun. It's different. It may not be, the speed for everybody, and it does take some, time to get used to. So keep that in mind, practice with it. And again, yes, I know it's not like legit drifting. You kind of get punished for using your handbrake with this. They turn the cars into all-wheel drive for the particular mechanics of this. That's not the, drifting norm. They're mainly or almost always going to be rear-wheel drive vehicles. And really what it seems like to me is that Rockstar has just basically added all-wheel drive to the vehicles and then gave the traction the same kind of like traction profile as if you were driving on snow. As you're drifting, it even sounds like you're driving on snow. It's really weird. And if you're worried about ruining the vehicle for other races by adding the drift tuning, don't worry about that. These cars that are eligible to have the drift tuning added to them, they're not really the meta in their class anyways. You weren't really using them before to race with, but now these cars have a purpose for the drift races themselves. All right, so there you guys have it. That's your guide and tutorial for the drift races in GTA Online. Let me know if you got any questions in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for the illest, realest content in the game. Smash that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Peace out, yeah.